It's your favorite YouTube dealer. I appreciate you guys for stopping in. It's been a minute, and I felt like it was time to dive into some more Angelina Jordan. So I came across Million Miles, which I have not heard. So I figured now is a better time than any. Let's dive in. Let's see what she was doing with this one.
When I was a child, I walked the streets. They see me growing up. Know you were all I need. I see me in myself through all the years. It's like it's in my tears. I think what he's giving me, the smiles and the memories, but now he's not here to hold my hand. In the light of the blue sky, I'm not alone to fight. I'll never regret what I do. We're a million miles apart. It's pulling my heart like an empty bubble to be thrown. I can't make it stop, but I know in my heart, I know that I'm never alone. I know I'm never alone.
Someone can fill me in because I assume that this is about somebody who's passed away. And that's something that I feel like we all can relate to. And yeah, growing up, I wouldn't say it was tough. Like I had a really good family and stuff, but there was a lot of death at times. And I'm very thankful that it's been a while now, years, maybe even a decade since I've had to attend a funeral or anything like that. And that's a good feeling, but also a scary feeling because I know that eventually it is going to happen again. But I had this thing that I put into a song once before where I said that growing up, I learned about death before I even understood what life was yet. And it's really sad that kids actually go through shit like that. And I don't think that it necessarily altered me in any way or left me with any kind of like long-term scars that I know of. But then again, sometimes you don't know how your trauma shows itself. You think that you're fine. Maybe it does show in some certain ways. Maybe it's part of my anxieties. I really don't know. But that was something that I definitely feel like I experienced. I went to a funeral at 4 years old, and then I feel like a couple years later, and then, you know, friends of the family in 8th grade with my grandpa. And like, it definitely was tough as a kid because it just felt like it was nonstop. And you learned that you lose people before you even understood what it was like to have people, to really understand what, you know, love is, what life is all about. And, you know, like it's just a really interesting thing. Right. So that's something that she went through. I could definitely feel her for that.
I know that I'm never alone, never alone, never alone. You said I'm watching you from the moon. I'm everywhere, see everything you do. I can't see you, but I know you're here. It's like you're in my tears. I think what he's giving me, the smiles and the memories, but now he's not here to hold me. In the light of the blue sky, I'm not alone to fight. I'll never regret what I do. We're a million miles apart. It's pulling my heart like an empty bubble to breathe from. I can't make it stop, but I know in my heart, I know that I'm never alone. I know I'm never alone.
Oh my goodness. I need to go back. She's giving me chills. Like I'm getting chills, but especially right there.
In my heart, I know that I'm never alone. I know I'm never alone. I know that I'm never alone. I wonder when I close my eyes, are you in my dreams tonight? I wonder.
Absolutely amazing. Like you listen to her sing and just how good she is as a singer, some of the topics that she sings about and stuff, you'd never realize that she was the age that she is. You'd think that she's much older. Like she's so much like older than her actual years, if that makes sense. This was absolutely amazing, especially towards the end, the way that she flexed the voice a little bit, the wavers, and just like the little things that she does are just so unbelievable, and it just like it just touches you. And topic is definitely something that hits home, and I feel like we all can relate to it, whether it was something that happened as a little kid or later on in your life. Like we've all had losses, we've all been through some tough shit, and it's unfortunate, but that is literally a part of life and something that we all have to kind of deal with. It just kind of sucks. When I think back, I feel like, you have like certain memories as a kid, right? Like little, like almost pictures of like a few different moments and stuff like that. And try to think back as far as you can and like what those few first memories that you have are. Because I have three. And I feel like it's kind of messed up. But one of them is playing with like I had like a cassette tape little like box thing and a player and stuff like that. And I remember that I had MC Hammer for some reason, the Lion King soundtrack, and I had a bunch of other ones, but I don't remember what they were. But those two I remember. And I had to have been 4 or younger because we lived in this house only up until I was about 4, maybe 5, and then we moved. So I know that I was within that first 4 to 5 years of my life. I remember potentially coming home one day from I think like Head Start or something like that, and my dad was like for some reason I feel like he would sleep on the floor. I don't know why. I guess it's something I could probably ask my mom, but I just remember him like sitting up and like I gave him a hug. And I assume at this point he was probably not doing so well because I know that like I'm pretty sure he was drinking more than he should have. He had diabetes and he probably had some other issues that I'm just not aware of, and that ended up being why he passed away when I was 4. So I remember those two memories, and then the third one that I could remember back then, I'd say 4 memories from back then when I lived there was okay, maybe there's a few more. I remember the neighbors spinning me around. I remember going down to this store and they had like an arcade and stuff like that. Not like, well, I guess like just one game in there, and my mom would do whatever she had to do to get stuff, and I'd play this game. I think it was Golden Axe. And then I remember being dragged out, not in a bad way, but like, being taken out of the funeral when my dad had passed away because I don't think I understood it. Obviously, I was such a young kid, and my dad's laying there. And so I just remember like just bawling my eyes out. Now, I don't really remember that much about him. So all these years later, like it doesn't really seem like it affects me, but who knows? Like that kind of stuff as you're a kid, you know, and your brain is still growing and you're still trying to understand things. I feel like it probably affects you in some way. Maybe I just don't know how it's manifested in my life, but that is like the earliest memories that I have are probably like those 5 things. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I remember like looking out the back window at this like it wasn't a parking lot. There was I don't know. It was like an overgrown old parking lot or something at the time. I remember having uh hermit crab. So I guess there's a few, maybe up to like 10 different like little pictures of memories I have from that first 5 years of my life. But it's kind of messed up that one of them is, somebody passing away and being dragged out of a funeral. Like, and I keep saying dragged, but I wasn't like dragged out, I was picked up and just carried out because I couldn't handle it. And it's just weird to think that that's one of the memories that I had because I at that age obviously didn't understand life. I didn't understand literally anything. Like I'm just fresh, new to all this shit, trying to like, figure out my stuff and that's one of the things that you have to go through. And it's just I don't know, it's just sad. So my heart goes out to anybody that's lost anybody. But especially anybody that's done it at a young age, especially if you know that there's trauma that's carried on through your life with you that you're very aware of. So, um, shout out to Angelina Jordan. This was an amazing song. I didn't know what I was diving into, but I'm very, very happy that I did. So let me know what you guys thought down below. I'll catch you in the next one, homies.